Hold up. Wait a minute. Bruh. Did you hit the like button? Drop some rabbits in the chat. Let's go.
Hit that like. Hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat. Hit chat. Hit that like. Hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. If you want the tea, come see me. Rabbit hole is the place to be for real news, not fake news. Celebrity news, breaking news around the clock. Real talk, best on the block. I rock, I rock, I rock, I rock. Real talk, best on the block. I rock, I rock. Hit that like, hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat, big chat. Hit that like, hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop some drop 'em, drop 'em, drop 'em, drop 'em. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop 'em, drop 'em, drop 'em, drop 'em. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. True crime is my specialty. Exposed in the industry. Unsolved mysteries. Sticking to reality. Fair use commentary. Talking about cults. Trying to get results. Exploring hopes. Exploring, researching, debunking, investigating, being nosy, super nosy, being messy, being shady. Rabbit hole news. That's me, the chick with ADHD, unmedicated but quite educated. Hit that like. Hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat. Hit chat. Hit that like. Hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits. Drop some drop 'em. Drop 'em. Drop 'em. Drop 'em. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits. Drop 'em. Drop 'em. Drop 'em. Drop 'em. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Hit that like. Hit that like. Let's go. Let's go. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. Shout out to everybody in the chat. My goodness. Welcome. Happy Friday. Wow, the news is newsing today. There's a couple things happening here, and we got to get right to it. Welcome, everybody. Shout out to the members. Shout out to everybody. Welcome, guys. Thank you, guys, for being here. Good morning. How are you, Faded Joe? Shout out to you. Hey, shout out to you. Hey, First Liberties Podcast. Shout out to you. Welcome. Look at everybody coming through, man. Love to see these rabbits. Our wonderful members like Soul Power. Thank you for being here. Belen is in the house. Shout out to Belen. Belen, I hope you're doing well and you're feeling better. Oh, Belen, you changed your picture. Ooh, she got Jessica Rabbit in there. Ooh, you gotta love that one. Belen, by the way, just so you know, James decided to call what is happening with the virus butthole COVID, which I don't know if you saw the live yesterday. You weren't there. I didn't see you there, but I hope you're doing better and you get better. Okay, girl, shout out to you. Shout out to everybody that's dealing with the little Taco Bell virus and everything that's happening. But let me make sure, because I know the light is like a little too much. Hold up, y'all, because that little light in the back is going to bother me because it reflects back. 1 second. Let me fix this real quick. Hopefully that covers that. With some maybe something else to cover it. There it is. I don't like how it reflects because it's a little distracting for me. Okay, it covered it a little bit. Welcome, everybody. Yes, everybody hit the like button. Hey, Flojo. Y'all laughing about the butthole COVID. Oh, I hope I don't get like tagged or flagged or anything. I'm at home today, so you're allowed to cut up. All right, we're going to cut up. Actually, it might not be this video. There's another video where we're going to cut up a little bit more. Yeah, we're going to save that one for later. But anyways, welcome everybody. So let's get it together, guys, because we definitely have some very, very, very interesting news that dropped in the D4VD situationship. But let me start first with, there has been this rumor, right, that there was like this music that was going to drop. Now, I really thought it was just going to be like a rumor. I didn't really think that this was like a real thing. But because I'm like, who's there uploading music for this guy while this guy, you know, like, is it his family or whatnot? I mean, you know, people do stuff, you know, while, you know, artists will drop music all the time. I think, was it, what's his name? Why am I thinking of Trey Songz? It's not Trey Songz. What is his name? The one that was Mega Stallion shooting situationship. Why am I thinking it's not? What is his name? What is his name? Anyways, so he just dropped some music too. I mean, people drop music all the time, even when they're, you know, incarcerated and serving time and whatnot. So it wouldn't have surprised me, but at the same time, I didn't think that there would have been any music. You know, I guess you still got to make money one way or another because legal expenses. Thank you. Why did I say? Well, because it starts Trey Songz T, Tory Lanez T. There you go. Thank you. Yes. So Tory Lanez like dropped some new music while he's behind bars. People drop music all the time, but there was this like new song that was dropping on Spotify. And it's interesting because TMZ is talking about it. Now, the people that were talking about it first were the Reddits, right? Shout out to the Reddits. So TMZ says that D4VD alleged new song scrubbed hours after dropping. Did anybody get a copy of the song? While D4VD sits behind bars awaiting trial for the alleged murder of Celeste Rivas Hernandez. A new song dropped quietly on Spotify, but it's unclear if he had any involvement. The track title, how do you even say it? Is it Marcescence? How do y'all say it? Break it down. Let me see. Google, help me out with this pronunciation. I want to make sure I say it correctly. It's got so many C's here. Pronounce. Should I say it correctly? I don't want to say it wrong because y'all know I'd be saying stuff off the wall. How do you say this? Marcescence. There you go. Marcescence. That's how you say that. Okay. All right. Thank you, Google. And so this is a song that was like supposed to be dropping. And it refers to, we did talk about this actually. I want to say a couple weeks ago that there was this song that he was working on. And when people were looking into the YouTube and the stuff that he was searching, I remember this. And if you guys remember the meaning, it essentially means it refers to the botanical phenomenon where trees retain their dead, withered leaves through the winter and into the following spring. So there is that Marcescence. You said Rabbit, it's so it dropped and it apparently they erased it. They're like, oh no, we better remove it because people are going to, clearly be upset. I couldn't remember his name at all. Well, no, I couldn't. Tory Lanez. Yeah, I couldn't remember his name either. Yeah, Tory Lanez was the individual that's dropping music. But there's a lot of artists that, hey, Chloe, that, stuff happens and they're charged, and they still drop their music behind bars. I mean, that does happen. He tries very hard to be deep and profound. Ooh, he's just a loser. You said, oh, Lord have mercy. Well, okay. So apparently this Marcescence, this song was taken down after 8 hours on Thursday, data shows. It's no longer playable on the song's page, but the artwork shows D4VD holding a camera in the bathroom. Well, and I mean, if y'all really want to listen to the song, apparently somebody put it up on somewhere in the YouTube. TMZ has learned that there was also a music video for the song on Spotify, but it was ultimately archived. However, David, D4VD archive account, managed to post it on YouTube. There you go. As you all know, the singer is behind bars for allegedly murdering the 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez after cops found her body chopped up in the Tesla. I hate that word. Dismembered in the Tesla. Sorry, I'm reading the article straight from TMZ. Prosecutors claim he killed her last April after she allegedly threatened to reveal potentially compromising information about their illicit relationship. D4VD has pled not guilty to the charges. It's unclear who submitted the song to Spotify and when. So we're not able to tell who actually submitted the song. We're not able to, like, that's not a thing that we can do, correct? Lord, let me make sure. So it's him just recording himself. 2 minutes and 41 seconds of a song. Oh, Lord. Sounds very deep. Okay, let me stop right there. You said no one else can play it on Spotify? I'm sure somebody downloaded it. Well, I mean, they don't even need to download it because, look, it's already on YouTube. Y'all can listen to it. I thought he was dropped from his label. So was it the label or was it somebody else that... Another fan. Marcescence was the deluxe album that was found to drop in September when Celeste was found. Gotcha. Thank you, Rose, for the knowledge and the insight in this. This video is actually from another song he did. Same video from the New Mexico motel that had Asia in it. Girl, and it's interesting because the people are still calling Asia out, right? And whatnot. You said, I love her. I'm trying to keep it cute, okay? So this is probably the album he's going to drop right before or after the court. No, this was supposed to be like what Rose said here, and I heard this from someone else too, that Marcescence was the deluxe album that was supposed to drop the September Celeste was found. So that's, I believe that's what he was touring for, and also as well. Victoria Mendez appears to be the name used for Celeste. It appears like a paper trail for investigators. Well, foreign scammer, shout out to you. We're going to get into this other very bizarre situation too. Okay. So shout out to Khadijah Lynn, because y'all know that I am subscribed and I watch her videos and she's amazing. Shout out to her. But this is where I saw this. Khadijah Lynn dropped a video today and I was like, oh, say what now? What's going on? So this person by the name of Lamp. Now, I've actually used one of his pictures. I didn't know. Let me see. Make sure I follow this person, because I don't think I do. But I didn't know that this is where the picture came from. Lamp is somebody who apparently was on the Discord. And apparently they, have been dropping some hints here and there and whatnot. So this right here, he says, AI was used to expand it to the full, but okay, let me go up there. This is more proof D4VD is so guilty. Leaking D4VD should be more common. Leaking D4VD should be common. And then he or she says, AI was used to expand it into full screenshot. Okay. Somebody says made with AI at the bottom of your post. Look at the top of the reply, broski. So what does this look like here? Jay says, okay. More proof that D4VD is guilty. So it looks like an itinerary. Important information about your child's flight for reservation. PSLYJC. We've noticed that your child is booked on an upcoming flight, but the reservation doesn't include an adult age 18 or older. For their safety, children ages 5 through 14 flying on their own are required to travel with an unaccompanied minor service. We offer unaccompanied minor service for nonstop flights. If your child has a connecting flight, they must travel with an adult. Okay, so I'm looking at this, and if you go to the bottom, this is pretty general. I've booked a flight for my oldest when he was a minor, and I had this type of message, right? If you've already contacted us about your child accompanied trip, that's what it says. Customer service information. So shipping address, Victoria Mendez, and it lists the Doheny Place, Los Angeles, California address, and the billing address is David Burke. And thanks, Celeste, for choosing United. Confirmation number is there. You'll receive a second email. Okay. So the seat isn't available for unaccompanied minors, yada, yada, yada. You have to do this. This is how much was paid. $686, 32 cents for $32 for taxes, $150, $923.03 for total. So what the people here are saying is that essentially this was the ticket that was used for booking to London. Now, it doesn't look like an international flight to me, but I'm kind of wondering where and what else is being shown here. So if I look at here, Los Angeles to London, September 28th, which was a Saturday at 12:55 p.m., Sunday, September 29th at 7:25 a.m. From LAX to London, okay, LHR, 10 hours and 30 minutes. I mean, it doesn't sound like, it sounds like a straight flight unless there was other connecting flights. Is there straight flights? Let me see. Hold up. Let's see what else is being said. Is there straight flights from Los Angeles to London? I would think that there'd be a stop somewhere, but okay. You'll receive a second email with your receipt once we're done processing your reservations. If you don't receive your ticket within 24 hours, contact us. Now, what was said, right? Because Celeste, she had a passport and whatnot. That was found at a different location. I believe it was Santa Barbara. When there was a hiding of evidence, there was that. And then there was also that was also in the arresting, the document that we all read, where it talked about, her flying. And we were like, London, Texas, London, some other place. I mean, to me, this looks international, but I'm trying to find out why Lamp felt the need to use AI. And they're saying that it was to extend the image. Someone says, imagine flying your 14-year-old girlfriend to London and using a fake alias to book it. And that's the other part to this too. This Victoria Mendez is a fake alias. It's not a real name, right? What was the name that was used in the orders that were made when he was ordering the shovel from Postmates, when he was ordering the pool, when he was ordering all these other things? You said there are direct flights on United between LAX and LHR. So there are. Okay, good. I wasn't sure if there was a stop anywhere. I wondered about this. Let me see. Let me go up a little bit. I thought they had to stop in NYC before going to London because there's a lot of fuel. I mean, that's a great question. I've never been, so I'm kind of curious. You said they use Celeste as the parent and Victoria as the minor. You know, I wonder about that too, because if you look at the picture, thanks, Celeste, for choosing United. Celeste, no, Victoria's the shipping address. I'm assuming customer information would be Victoria. You know what? Let me see something real quick. I could probably pull a United ticket. Have I booked United or was it Frontier? I can't even remember. Hold up 1 minute. Unaccompanied minor. Ticket. Sorry, I'm checking to see something. And what we can do is run this through AI as well. Was it? I don't think he did United. Did he do United? Okay, hold up. What is this? Code, the itinerary. Let me see something. Oh my God, this is such a long time ago. That was Alaskan Airlines. As you can see, y'all, some of us do travel a lot. Let me see if I can run this through AI and see if we can ask the question, is the minor, is the adult, thanks for choosing, is that what, how did they do all this? I'm a little confused too, but let me check something, okay? Let's see. Let's drop this picture here. Has anybody had any recent vacations? Anybody travel a lot? Yes, save it. Let's save this right here. Okay. I'm curious because we can look into this a little bit more. Da-da-da, screenshot. So I guess the question would be, is Celeste the booking person? Because it says, thank you for choosing United. I'm assuming Celeste is the booking person. Then the shipping address would be Victoria Mendez. Kind of curious. Let's see what AI tells us. You said, yeah, there are flights straight to London. I think he used the name from the Amazon order. It's the same name. Well, that's the great question. Is that a name that's made up? Hold up, y'all. I got to catch up to the chat. Sorry about that. I'm like not ignoring you, but I was looking at this. Hey, Rabbit. Interesting. I will check it out. Thank you. Thank you. You said I had a hard week in the heat wave. Ooh, shout out to you for Celebrities Podcast. Let me see what other people are saying. There are direct flights. The conspiracy theorists are going to go crazy with the fact that Mendez' surname goes back to who is Visigoth. It translates to the whole who's Visi? I have no idea who that is. Tell me more, foreign scammer. The London airport, and yes, that's a direct flight from LAX to London. Interesting. So they don't stop the fuel? You said, yeah, there's a straight flight, straight flights. Wow, I'm a little surprised. So it's 11 hours, says Rachel. I've flown straight from LAX to London. Okay. It's definitely going to be informative. Y'all, we're going to be live next week. Okay, just please note that. Definitely going to be prepared for that. Google says a lot of straight flies to London. Okay, so this is what AI is telling me about this picture. It says, based on the documentation regarding this, Celeste Rivas Hernandez is a central figure. Okay, let me see. Okay, so tell me about this. Yeah, so it says right here that the name Celeste appears in the confirmation email as the person who booked the flight. Okay, let me ask a question. Another one. How could she book it? She's the one that booked the flight. That's what it says. But hold up. Somebody else book it for her? It doesn't provide specific details about the booking itself. However, it's important to note that the screenshot shows Celeste on the name on the confirmation, but the billing shipping address, yes, we know this. It's an individual named Victoria Mendez for shipping and Burke for billing. This suggests that while the booking may have been associated with Celeste's name, the financial transaction contact information was managed by others. So maybe it's just simple. D4VD booked the flight for her and used the alias, just like it is what it is. But let me see something else. My question for Lamp would be, how did he or she get a hold of this? They don't say, right? So was this shared on the Discord? And again, the times and dates. Let me show you guys something else. Lamp says, I believe this was once spoken about by a news source of a flight from LA to London. Well, and D4VD interviewed about it too. Did everyone know and not say anything? Someone says, why so crap? I just want the whole thing. I think it's a fair question. My question is, was this, but it does say in the bottom, made with AI, right? But they do say that they made it with AI, not made it, but they use AI to expand it. They said, let me use, leaking D4VD should be more common. This is more proof D4VD is so guilty. AI was used to expand it into a full screenshot. That's all it was. But it doesn't change the actual narrative of the image. And they say that the flight was taken on the 28th of September. Okay, let me see what else. Well, and that's what people are saying, post the original. Why would you post something like this? Why post it now? How do you think it's going to help? Okay, some things are bigger than attention. Okay, here's my question though. How did Lamp, was this shared on the Discord and that's why Lamp has access to this? Does anybody know that? Anybody in the chat? Because so far what we have known is that it's been all of the Reddits. I mean, I don't know, man. You said, why would they need AI to expand it? It seems easy to do without AI. I think they needed they wanted everything in the full screenshot. But my question is like, why not? It doesn't show the date of the flight. So then they crop the flight date, right? You said to leave or enter in the UK, a child with different name than adult presence, even grandparents need a written authority, usually stamped, to say child can leave the country. What else did they need to do to make that flight happen? Maybe Celeste shared a part of the screenshot. Yeah, like I would, just like you would, like chain of custody, you'd want to find out where the information came from. Because at least for me, it's like I know that the Redditors are leaking information, because some of them were in the Discord, right? We could say that. But where did this come from? Was this shared with, did D4VD share it? Did Celeste share it? Did somebody in the closed group share this itinerary? Because at this point, I don't know. This person is I would say that they're connected because they were a mod, it sounds like, to that Discord. Was this itinerary shared? Because that's one thing we have not seen from the Discord. Linz, how are you? Does anyone know if Rabbit has jewels turned on in the lives? I have no idea what that is. What is that? I'm so disconnected. Like, what is that, girl? What is that? I have no idea what that is. Let me see something real quick. Anyways, I'll check it out in a minute. You said, hold up. You said D4VD management? It's like a super sticker. Oh, okay. I'll check it out. I didn't know that they were doing that. Traveling internationally with a child requires a lot of documentation. I don't understand they were able to do it. Unless maybe some kind of company that was involved took care of the travel. What we do know is that, I mean, clearly it wasn't a private jet. Hey, Morris, thank you so much for this. I forget the name, but someone D4VD trusted has his game console. Yeah. We reviewed that, right? Because that went through the YouTube accounts and the things that he was searching. It was so awkward. Yeah. So let me see something. Okay, I can understand the use of AI for like the cropping, maybe trying to get everything in there, right? But what I don't understand is, yes, I remember that. What I don't understand from this is how did he get a hold of that itinerary? You said Lamp is the same guy who asked D4BD who the girl was in the studio photo, and David called him a Fed. Oh. Let me see something real quick. That is interesting. Hold up. Girl, I'm trying to figure out. This is very interesting because, and I mean, of course, they're going to have maybe certain information available and whatnot that we don't have. But, hmm. Give me 1 second. Hold up. There's got to be. So this person had the itinerary, right? And we don't know. I can believe it. I can believe that there was we just don't know how and all this kind of happened. Okay. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that can support it. What about D4VD's parents? That's a great question. Well, perhaps the feds will be taking over, but that's the thing. It's international now, right? Would the feds be taking over? I mean, but at the same time, you guys remember the Vegas thing? They didn't take over there, right? James, thank you so much. Okay, I will read this later on, James. Shout out to you. I'll read that later. You said, I believe they were booked through a travel guard and not directly through United. Travel guard is the insurance listed on the documents you've shown and appear on the other documents pertaining to this flight. Chloe, let me see. Because I didn't even see the travel guard. This, thank you. So, yeah, you're right. By the green shot, there's like I should have just, you know what? Let me do this. See if we can share the screenshot so I can zoom in. Here it is. Oh, look at this. And he's using his address, his home address in Texas. Ain't that some ish? Okay. All right. Travel Guard. You have purchased Travel Guard, travel insurance from AIG, insurance details, along with the applicable definitions and terms of coverage are fully described policy insurance. It is your responsibility to read and understand the coverage, Travel Guard. Okay. Yep. And they were charged with the Travel Guard. But look, unaccompanied minor, one unaccompanied minor, 12, 14. Can't say he didn't know what her age was in 2025 because you literally have an unaccompanied minor thing right there. Can't say he didn't know how old she was at this. Like, that's not going to work anymore. You can't say you didn't know how old she was. You said something ain't adding up. If Celeste was listed as a missing person, how did she manage to board a flight in United? You said Travel Guard is not a travel agency and does not book flights, hotels, or vacations. It said they just insure the trip. But do they? So he needed to insure the trip for a minor. That's interesting. That is interesting. Will United be called to testify? Nah. Doubt it. I doubt it. But why book through a insurance travel? Young people don't really. Yes, this was clearly booked through somebody. So he wanted to insure the flight in case you couldn't make it. You insure a trip for weather things of that nature. That's all the insurance does for your trip. Something happens. Hey, Kadisha Lynn. You said that's just the insurance if you need to cancel at the last minute. So he was like, let me make sure I purchase the insurance. I mean, just in case I have to cancel it, right? So this purchase is an offer from the insurance? No, I don't think so. I think it's just like when you book a flight, you're asked if you want to insure the flight, right? So that's kind of how it goes. Whenever the company's name is not on the agent book list, they only insure your flight. That's what I thought. It's only to insure the flight, right? Okay, so well, there's a couple things that this does not answer for me. I can't believe this leak was crazy. That's what I'm saying. It's like it is crazy, and I'm kind of curious how the person, which hey man, they leaked it, right? But how did the person have this? Was this shared in the Discord? Or did he just share it with Lamp? Was Lamp maybe close enough to receive a ticket? You know, the itinerary, the confirmation. No wonder they tied this up with a little bow. There you go. And they only use, because it says AI on the bottom, it only says AI because they used it to expand the picture. I think that's all it was. Maybe when they uploaded it to AI, they showed 2 screenshots and then they were able to expand it that way. You said the investigators had all the evidence for sure because they can get their hands on so much data that we are not even aware of. Well, and that is the $1 million question. Will there be a separate case? You have the state case. Is there going to be a separate federal case? Well, I guess we can now say if this is correct, not knowing, I don't know the person. I can't, the person is confirming that this is how they used to purchase the ticket. If this is correct, then we can, for those that are saying, well, it's London, Texas, I think it's London. Okay. The UK London, the one that's a long ass flight, right? Wow. And it makes you wonder if her parents knew, it's one thing for a runaway to run away to go to different states. It's another thing for them to be in international flights and able to get through customs and checks and stuff like that while being a missing person. This is the bigger issue, I think, too. If Celeste, minor and all, was able to bypass customs, I mean, clearly, some ain't right. Some ain't right. You said I wondered the same thing. I wonder is Lamp. I think it's Lamp, not Lamb. I was calling him Lamb too. The same guy who got the social media because that's the one of the videos David was looking for. was looking up to, and it was about United. That's interesting. Hey, Tootsie and Stilettos. You said, I think they used the AI to enhance a blurry image. R. Kelly. Ooh, there you go. R. Kelly was charged, right? Did they ever, and not, I mean, it's been a while since I've, that I can remember the R. Kelly, but there wasn't anything international with R. Kelly. It was all just within the States. You said, were you able to read the screenshots from the bottom to the top? AI enhanced can make mistakes, and there will definitely be a federal investigation because of the obscenity that included the same girl. Ooh. You said, and she was able to board from the LA airport. That's what I'm saying is like, you guys, like, we're talking about this, but like, how did she get through? Like, they do customs, right? They check stuff. They check documentation. Did they forge? Was she able to forge her parents' signature one way or another? I'm confused about this. Wasn't there a picture circulating in London? I don't think she's on it though. I think I read this. Were you able to read the bottom? Yeah, I was able to read the bottom. And it does say on the bottom like AI enhanced or something like that. I don't think he shared it with anyone. Someone has access to a few of David's accounts. Perhaps the same person who had access to his YouTube searches and other info. Ooh. Interesting. I think depending on how his first trial will end, if they charge him for the international stuff, you think that the parents obviously approve the trips? Have you? Okay, let me ask the chat because I have not experienced this. Even as a child, has your parent ever, if you chat, you people in the chat wondering about this, have you ever have you ever taken a flight internationally as an unaccompanied minor? And what does that look like for customs and boarding and all that other stuff? Is that a different way to do it? You said I traveled with my goddaughter out of the country when she was a minor, and I needed tons of documentation. When I was coming back, I missed my connection because of all the investigation. So some ain't right. You know what? I'm gonna drop the link if anybody wants to come up and give me your thoughts on this. Because again, like we're preparing for next week. Okay, we gonna be live next week for sure. But I'm curious. Let me see. I'm gonna put the link up there. Anybody that wants to come up, give me your thoughts on this. You don't have to show your face. I'll just put like a little marker there. Okay. Yeah, that's what I want to know. How the heck did he get to that? You need, yeah, don't you need like socials? Don't you need, isn't it a pretty extensive, are we bypassing things? And and it's not a private flight, it's United. Lynn says, you know what I'm wondering is Asia said her and the other people hung out with David would have never suspected that he would do something like this. I'm wondering if he charmed the parents the same way. Charm them, but wouldn't she need to go to the airport with a parent too? I would fly to Mexico with my tia when I was young, and I don't think my mom or dad signed any sort of paper. Really? You said yes if your ugly StreamYard is accommodating. Stop. Maybe because she already had a passport in changes. Maybe she was already like, I wonder about this. Maybe because she had a passport. She didn't have to do all that. 250K will get all the docs you need if you know the right people. Huh. Hold up. Let me see. Hey, let me get a little marker here. And let me cover this up. 1 second, okay? I see you in the backstage. 1 second. But I gotta make sure, because we ain't trying to get no bombing. Is it Badazar? Badazar? How do you say your name? Can you hear me okay?
Bazar. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, I can hear you. How are you?
Okay, great. It's like Bazard. It's
Bazard.
I know, but
I love it.
You know how YouTube is. Thank you.
What
First
are your
time
thoughts?
actually oh yeah, I was about to say this first time calling in, but I've been watching your streams for a good hot minute. But yeah, the only two things I can think of this is and I'm in the ballpark where personally I think either the family possibly might have been involved in some aspect, or on David's side, someone higher up than him was helping him getting Celeste to be able to get on the flight to a foreign country. That's the only two other things that I'm in the middle ground between the likelihood either her family was involved in some aspect or someone David's team or someone even higher than David, let's just say that helped assist him able to see.
Bazar, just to let you know, you're coming in and out of the stream. We did hear bits and pieces of what you said, but I'm not really sure if you're like in a bad signal area. Is anybody else having a hard time hearing him? Or
Oh
is it just
no. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. There you go. Yeah, people are saying that there might be some issues.
It's probably on my end, yeah. Wi-Fi's been acting crazy. But I'll just go back, like I said, I'll make it short. It's to me, it either comes down to either her family was involved in some aspect, or someone on David's team, or even someone in a higher up situation assisted David to have a minor allegedly travel across out of the country.
Well, and the interesting part here, Chloe says in 2024, no visa was required between the US and the UK. So only needed to comply with the United's unaccompanied minor requirements. You can read them on their website. Need an adult for drop off and pickup. Even okay, so yeah, that would be international flight. That's interesting. So only just recently there might have been some changes. It would have been easy, right, for her to have been able to fly, wouldn't you say?
If it's coming to that, yeah, I guess that would make a little bit more sense. Because I've always just been questioning just that aspect of, well, how was she able to travel out of the country if she's not related to David and she had no allegedly any form of like parental form saying she can leave. So it's possible that could be because of what you said with the 2004 situation where it was maybe more easier.
Yes. 2024, it sounds like would have been much easier.
Okay.
It's interesting. So if she had already had documentation signed, maybe there's that. I'm going to see if I can find any information. But yeah, please let me know your thoughts.
Yeah, because I was going to say to me, it would make either maybe a little bit more sense if she from her family, or maybe there was someone that pretended to be her family member. There was somehow able to forge documentation. And I mean, people say it's hard to the government or aspects of the government. But I mean, if we look at every day here in America or other parts of the world, people are fraudsters or scammers. So it's not hard per se, but it's still interesting that she was able to still cross out of the country without no one even batting an eye.
Yes, for sure. I think Joe was up here, but he dropped. I'm not really sure. No, I just find it so interesting too. But it's like, not only that, let's take into account the fact that she's also a missing person, right? Or at least that's what we're thinking, right? Like she's a missing person. Are they not checking for that? I guess can missing children can fly out out of the country, and do all that. I'm a little confused. Check the private chat, says Joe. Okay.
Unless I was thinking, unless at the time she was missing around that time frame, they didn't list her as like possibly being missing internationally. I'm assuming it was more like locally missing in California. That's my best guess. And then if she was on the flight, the authorities or whoever was, checking out her information was like, they don't see a missing child. She's some teen going to England for whatever reason.
That's very interesting. Who you said we need somebody in the chat said we need someone to call United Airlines and ask how they handle reporting a missing child flying out of the country. That would be great. So here it says not Flojo, First Liberties, I believe, wanted us to share this and said children traveling to another country without their parents. Minor children may be able to depart the United States and travel to another country without either one of their parents. Children must have their own passport, which we know she did, a visa, and or international entry documentation required of adults. In addition, certain countries require children arriving / leaving the country without both parents and or legal guardians to have a letter of consent. In some cases, notarized. It's very easy to fake a letter of consent. It's very easy to get somebody to notarize a fake letter. I mean, if they were faking IDs, they could have faked Victoria Mendes, whoever the hell this is, as her parent. You know what I mean? And it went to the, to get a notary to sign it. And there was that.
But then,
check with the embassy.
right.
That's interesting.
Well, I was just saying, then this goes to my second. Did this go to my second point, which was someone either on David's team or maybe I heard some aspect assisted him with this.
That's interesting.
That's the other option too. Yeah.
So just somebody stepped up and assisted and did all that. That is so interesting. And it makes you wonder. I mean, clearly anybody can do this, guys. Like the way in which our flight stuff is set up, it's not. There's no safeguard. I'm not even I would never. I would never have thought that people, minors specifically, it's one thing for them to leave the state. It's another thing for them to leave the country. Yeah, he was also watching videos on it. There you go. Oh, that's right. The person that did the video, I don't know if you remember, Kadisha Lynn, what was the name of the creator so we can pull that video up again? The name of the creator from, it was a TikTok account, right? Who exposed what his, he got into the game console. He got into the game console and he was able to expose what he was searching on YouTube. Interesting. You said it is shady. Oh, you got the screenshot. Okay, cool. I'll go. Let me see if I can go. I'm gonna go to your video, Kadisha Lynn, because she breaks it down as well. Hold up. Oh, there she's already on my page. Y'all go check out our girl Kadisha Lynn. Okay, let me make sure I drop her channel. Okay. Here we go. Is it sharing? You can see it. Okay, let me know.
The receipt from the flight that Celeste Rivas Hernandez took to be with David in London. These receipts are being posted by the username Lamp over on X, and this is not the first time we've heard of Lamp because he also was somebody that was in David's Discord. Lamp is the same person that posted this in David's Discord that we talked about at the very beginning of looking at all of this information on David's Discord about Celeste Rivas Hernandez. The one that posted, "Hey, who is this girl?" And David said, "You are a Fed." Now let's get back to this actual receipt of this United Airlines flight that Celeste took because it has some very interesting information on it. After looking up other things about this flight, they were able to figure out that this was actually the transaction from the flight that Celeste took to London, like it said in the brief, but she was only on this flight by herself. So I assume that David was probably already in London when Celeste took this flight to London to meet him.
I mean, that would make sense to me too.
This part is really interesting. Look at the customer information. The shipping address, it goes under the name Victoria Mendes, the same name that prosecutors are alleging that David used to order all of those things online, like the chainsaws, the inflatable pool. That name is also connected to his address in LA. Then the billing address says David Burke with the address of Texas. It says, "Thanks, Celeste, for choosing United." So it seems like Celeste had an account or maybe made an account, but then it was actually maybe paid for the way it looks, I'm alleging, by David, and the Victoria Mendes is his house. So I'm really trying to figure out why he is using this alias. Like, was he trying to pretend that he was maybe Celeste's mom or something? I'm not sure.
Well, and here's my question too. So Karma says, put the pressure on United. I was going to say United Health. Sorry, guys. I'm thinking about United Healthcare. United Airlines to answer questions about the documents. They need to launch their own investigation if a missing child was able to fly out of the country through their airline. My thing is, I mean, this is the other part too, is if you look at the U.S. Customs website, they don't even, they're telling people how to do it. But my thing is like, I don't know about you guys, but if these individuals like if David had shown Asia a fake ID with Asia's age, or excuse me, Celeste's age, right? And that was somehow supposed to show that she's an adult. You're talking about somebody who had no issues faking a notarized
Mhm.
letter, you know what I mean? Or
Mhm.
having somebody be an adult like this, the process in itself, I don't know if it's a united thing or if it's like a whole process by itself an issue, because there isn't a lot, like even reading this few sentences in this paragraph, it doesn't sound like there is any due diligence here. It literally says that if a minor can fly out of the country without their parents and all they need is a letter. So if I am at TSA or whatever and I'm reviewing this and they're presenting a letter, I don't know if I'm going to call the parents and ask them, "Hey, parents, um, is your child missing?" Because they're not really checking for that. It doesn't seem like it. So it's very easy, it sounds like, to get a child out of the country, whether it's the UK or somewhere else. And I don't know if it's just United or all the airlines in general. It doesn't sound like it's a very extensive system. I mean, look, check it out. I'm a little
Mhm.
like shocked by it too.
I'm not shocked. I mean, I know with the situation with the sex trafficking of children around the world,
Yes.
or adults as well, it does seem it's not that hard now to be able to do that. But
Mhm.
with anything, this is why I kind of have my faith lost with, I guess, kids a little bit political, but it's just governments in general. I don't have faith in the system where it's like it becomes
Yeah.
too bloated, bureaucratic, and then you have examples like this where it's easy for someone to have a kid fake them to be their parent and let them travel around the country or around the world.
Mhm. Yeah. It's not a very good system, if that makes sense. Now I have somebody up here. Lacey, I'm gonna bring you up. Let me cover up. Hold up 1 minute. Hey Lacey,
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Let me know your thoughts about the situation. What do you think?
So I think that, we don't want to victim shame in terms of her parents, but I think we do need to at some point see that there may have been more involvement with her parents, whether it was turning a blind eye or not, that could have helped this process
Mhm.
along, because we're acting as if there's some masterminds going on here. There's no way that, I mean, what needed money to do something, David had disposable income. Well, that's what I call it. He was a young kid with a whole bunch of fucking money, freaking money,
Mhm.
whatever. But you get what I'm saying. But in terms of some things, it's possible that her parents, up to a certain point, well, up till her body unfortunately was found in the trunk, kind of turned a blind eye to a lot of things and allowed a lot of things to happen.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
you're not the mhm. No, and I was like, I agree with you. Like, you're not the only one. That's kind of like my perspective. The main situation of this whole case, like, it sort of does look like the parents were allegedly, um, I'll say, distant and investigating more on the whereabouts of their child. And even
Yes.
when was able to come back home the last time, I mean, just for me, I personally would have been on the butt on that situation. But like I said, it's different. But in my personal viewpoint, if your child has been missing multiple times and is allegedly, supposedly dating someone that you feel like allegedly believe is older than her, way older, I would have nipped that in the bud right then and there.
Well, I believe, and I have a sister that was wild and crazy from the time she was like 13 years old. So I know why they reported her missing, because truancy was going to get their butts eventually.
Yeah.
So that was a
Mhm.
very important part. And at some point, my mom couldn't keep my sister home. We spent more times on the streets looking for her than we did at home. And that's the reality of the situation. And that part can't be faulted on them. I mean, and the police feel the same way
Mhm.
about runaways, sadly, to some degree. And so, but on the flip side of it, and correct me if I'm wrong, didn't TMZ reach out to her mother or vice versa? So, before the body was identified, didn't somehow TMZ find out the identification of her based on a tattoo on her finger, the tattoo on her finger?
Through her mother, I think they were talking
Mhm.
about
So
her. Yeah.
are we gonna, okay, so let's just think she's, this is just hypothetical. Like, obviously I wasn't there, nobody was there, but she's watching TMZ. TMZ says David, she obviously knew David was I'm gonna say musician because I don't really know what he does. But anyway, he was a singer. And so he comes up on, the news that there was a a body found, and she immediately thinks it's her daughter, or at least when someone reached out to her, however that transaction went down, she said that could be my daughter. First off, that's scary to think, but second off, she had to have known she was with him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Mhm.
And
go ahead. I'm sorry.
she didn't. Oh no, I'm just trying to think, and like I said, it's not so much of how dare the parents, how dare the parents. I do understand the whole at some degree. I mean, Robin, the way I understand, you have teenage children. I have 4 girls and a boy, and so at some point you kind of relate to the parent in that aspect, but also as a
Mhm.
mother. And I would think, I feel like you would feel the same way. I've watched your shows enough, like of how much of a mother you are.
Yeah.
We haven't seen them out there going, I want him under the jail. Like,
Yeah.
I would have been advocating so hard. I feel like YouTube's advocating harder than they had. And it's kind of, and I think it could be internal guilt, maybe subconscious guilt. They kind of turned a blind eye to
Mhm.
some things. So they don't feel like they should be out there pointing the finger because he might point the finger back.
Yeah. What is
And the
interesting?
brother.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just
No.
saying,
Go,
yeah, her brother seemed to have been the only one after the fact that was, saying, we knew something was going on, and now we're also hearing about she allegedly was dating. Well, I should say that word, but interacting with a scumbag that was older than her
When she
before
was
he
much
got
younger.
deleted. Right before he got
Mhm.
deleted. So it's like that's why I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to blame the family. It's just too many weird inconsistencies. I mean, another
The
case
ball
I don't
was
want to
dropped
compare
all
it
the
to.
way
yeah. The ball was
Right.
across
dropped.
Oh,
Would
I
you
was
guys
just.
everybody.
say? One second. Would you guys say so? Like my mod
Mhm.
Vicky says, what we really need to pay attention to, it's the border patrol that should have been checking her passport against the database. So Vicky, let me
Exactly.
educate me on this because I don't know. Does the border patrol have access to a database of missing children for like statewide?
Well, and
Or
here's a
go ahead.
question I have is, did the police, where was she, Lake Elsinore? Did they
Yeah.
properly input her into a system that it would have flagged it?
And my mod said that as well.
Mm.
The other question that the other by the way, there's very interesting comment here. Close said nothing that I can see in United requirements required any sort of notarized document at the time. The only place where I see notarized document would be at the, like Joe said, at the customs. Children traveling to
Mm.
another country without their parents. This doesn't even say what they're doing in terms of like, what if the child is a minor, or and they're a
Is
runaway.
it possible that the parents signed over temporary custody for her to be able to take this trip and making somebody her guardian? So, like when
Yeah.
years ago, when my daughter, she's now 24, but she came to visit my parents in Arizona,
Mhm.
and she was flying back to Little Rock by herself. It wasn't supposed to, she wasn't supposed to stay. She was supposed to come back with a family member. Of course, you know how kids are. But so she stays out here with my parents. I had to mail her birth certificate, buy the airline ticket. They hand the birth certificate and my child to the airline, and the airline just put her on. And then I just went there with my ID showing I was the pickup person. But when she started school in between a move with my parents, I just signed a piece of paper. I didn't have it notarized, giving them temporary custody of her to put her into school.
Interesting. So just something like
Mm.
something temporary so that she would be able, and
Mhm.
that wouldn't even be public information
And
if
never would
anything
be.
was signed. Yeah. So we, the public, wouldn't know that. Other people would
I
know
don't even
that.
know if United would have that on file, because why would they keep that on file once they cleared the documents? Okay, so
Yeah.
let's say it was David's manager. Well, David was over 18. So let's just say David was the temporary guardian. He shows his ID, he shows her passport, so forth, so on. And then they get on the plane. I don't know that like United would keep those documents, because then next thing you know, there's going to be a whole, breach of debt, the whole privacy
Breach of
issue.
data.
And
No,
right.
you're, yeah.
And also, if
Wow.
Lake Elsinore technically just took the report, we really haven't seen, because they've sealed everything, that they properly put her as a missing person. Those posters were made by her family, so that I understand.
Ooh, so real quick, let me shout out. I gotta shout out some people. Live More, thank you so much for gifting memberships, guys. If you've been gifted by our supporter, Live More, put some hearts in the chat. Thank you, Live More. I appreciate you. Morris said also, remember Celeste was mad because she couldn't go to his concert.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then there was that message that said something to the effect of, "I'll take care of it." I'm trying to put some hearts in the chat, y'all. Put some hearts if you've been gifted, and thank you
Thinking
for
out your forehead.
I know I'm like, here, y'all. It's like, I don't know, the sensor's not. Oh, there it is. Thank you, Livmore. Thank you again, Morris, who says, yeah, he said that. Remember, I'll take care of it. And there was a screenshot of that. So what's interesting, because we're talking about a little bit of the passport, if they had entered her correctly, like my mod Vicky, who I thought brought up an excellent point, Border Patrol would run her passport. They run everybody's passport when you go through TSA. At that point, if LAPD put her name in the national database, it would have popped up. So there's a
But
national
did
database.
LAPD have her as a missing person or only Lake Elsinore?
That's the question. That's the question.
What
Was it
county is Lake
LAPD or
Elsinore?
Lake Elsinore? Because you're talking about two different
Because
departments,
I
right?
don't know that we've ever, right. And I don't know that we've ever seen, of course, as far as what the public's seen, a report out of LA. We've only seen a report or know of a report out of Lake Elsinore. But depending on what county Lake Elsinore is in, because LAPD only got involved when they went, that I understand. So and please correct me because there's been so much information and then TMZ, and as we all know, but you know, that LAPD only got involved when they knocked on his door and said, we were told that she was here.
I don't even think it was LAPD. It was the Riverside. So it's not even Lake Elsinore, because if you look at the missing poster, it says, let's see, if you've seen this teen, please contact Officer Contreras. And where did I see Riverside? Hold up. I'm not making that up. I saw it somewhere. Here it is. Riverside Sheriff's Report. Hashtag, there's a report number there. So
And First
LAPD only got
Liberties
involved after
the fact,
Yeah,
because the crime
yeah.
took place in their jurisdiction after
Right.
the fact, which means,
Right.
and so that would mean, and isn't that the same sheriff's department or whatever, that the little boy, I don't know his name.
Oh, the one with the parents.
Yes, the one with the parents.
Yeah.
You know, Rabbit, you were covering them, and they just took the little boy.
The mom that said that she got
at Big
attacked or
Five.
whatever.
At Big Five.
Oh, by the way, there's an anniversary on that. You're talking about Emmanuel Jarro.
Yes.
Okay.
So isn't that the same sheriff's department?
I don't.
I'm sorry, I'm out.
No, you're fine. Let me look at the criminal complaint, because I don't even think they named the LAPD. Let me see something. David
And while you're
Burke.
looking that up, I don't know if someone like First Liberties or like your mod Vicky would know, but if there's like a way to see like a database in Lake Elsinore or Riverside Sheriff's Department of how they classified that report. Like if they have their own database, like in terms of county by county.
If it's national and it's a missing persons, and this is why I'm a little confused, because I remember, you know, having dealt with teenage runaways, we did have to call them in to agencies to flag them, you know. But I mean, I don't think I've ever
But
had.
we also seen. Sorry, go ahead.
I don't think I've ever had a situation where a lot of the teenagers that I dealt with, they were state by state. None that I knew. I mean, well, maybe there were some that left the country, but they were typically flagged by someone. And you know what's interesting too? Kadisha Lynn was saying that David's mom is also a notary. She's able to notarize documents.
I would think by now, because I don't know exactly how. I don't know how the notary, but you have to turn your book in at some point. Like it's like state regulated, or it should be. And so, so that's where, but here's the thing is that we're expecting, like we've seen all of those police calls, like when somebody released it on Reddit, remember all the dispatch calls that were out to that address?
Yeah.
And so at some point, I do believe that the quote unquote missing persons was more of a legality to keep them from getting in trouble with the school or whatever. And the police may not have taken it that serious due to all the dispatch calls that were going on out there anyway.
Interesting. I'm looking at something real quick. International. I don't know if it's not NCMEC that they have to enter them. Do they look upon NCMEC, the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children? Do they look at NCMEC? Do they enter them in NCMEC to identify if this is the child that's a runaway? Because that's the bigger issue. Is just I don't know if I mean clearly there's she was able to get out of the country, y'all. Like that something's
Mhm.
wrong here, right?
So
Like,
my daughter was at Phoenix Children's Hospital, and she had to connect with like essentially like the kidney department, and then she had a lupus doctor and different things like that, right? And all on one
uh-huh.
campus in Phoenix. And if we were in the main hospital, we would have to walk over to the kidney clinic to get a paper. Like, and we're like, your guys' systems aren't connected. And I'm telling you, this campus is huge, yet none of their clinic systems are connected. It's possible it fell through the cracks in terms of like, you know, we're expecting people to do their job efficiently. And this is just one of those things that one person may have
Right.
entered it, but yet they didn't check the passport because there was no reason to flag the passport because he has a pay, you know, let's just hypothetically say that he has a piece of paper that says she's allowed to go. And then here's this,
Mhm.
you know, like, so we're expecting, you know, sad to say minimum wage, some minimum wage people to do their job above and beyond and follow processes systems. And it's very possible that somewhere along the way it all broke down and it fell through the
Yeah.
cracks.
Okay, so
Right.
this is what I was able to find. So, in California specifically, yeah, they need to be able to. They're mandated to accept missing children reports immediately. Now, what I'm also finding out is that the reports are submitted. So, when there's a missing child, the reports are submitted to the National Crime Information Center, which is the national database used by law enforcement. Now, international, there is no. This is the other gray area part. While local police do not directly submit cases into an international system like Interpol on their own, the NCIC database automatically shares relevant data with national and international partners for specific international child abduction cases. Okay, but what about runaways? That's the other question. Local authorities coordinate with the U.S. Department of State and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, the NCMEC system, to track and recover children who may have been taken across borders. Now, the question is how is a missing child able to fly? Now, if we are to say that the reason why Celeste had a passport was because she went to El Salvador, because I think that was the other rumor, that she was able to fly internationally, I think with her parents or something like that at some point, and she used that same passport. I mean, that could be a thing too, right? She could have used that. So essentially,
Mm.
what they're saying is that there's a lot of loopholes in routine travel security checkpoints, systemic structural gaps, and unique tactics utilized by people that, are able to sneak children in. And primarily, the United States
Right.
does not have the exit controls at the airport. Unlike countries where every departing passenger must physically pass through a government customs and border protection station to exit the country, passengers in the US walk directly from security to their boarding gate because there's no routine physical exit passport check by federal officers. Systemic detention relies almost entirely on automated airline checks. And that's straight from the US Custom and Border website.
Pretty much
So
how, like I said earlier. Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah, so there's gaps to the system. Like,
Hmm.
it's not
Hmm.
as black and white as we think. Well, that you're a child and you're a runaway, you'll be able to sneak. No, like there's gaps in their system. That's the issue.
Well,
Hmm.
and I will say, I just flew from Phoenix, Arizona to Dallas, and I had not gotten my travel ID yet. I ordered it, it was still in the mail. We had already had this flight plan. So I had to pay $45 at TSA to and have them email me a receipt that I paid it. So I did it, and I get up to the TSA agent, and I went to hand her my ID and and I told her it wasn't a federal ID. She's like, "Do you have the receipt?" And I said, "Yeah." And I pulled it up on my phone. She's like, "You're good." She didn't even check my ID. She just checked the $45 receipt and let me through TSA. And so I was expecting whenever I got to the next TSA agent right before security, when they scan you in, and they just waved me through. And at no point did I show anything other than my boarding pass and this $45 receipt to get onto the plane. And I was in Phoenix. So I can tell you,
Yeah.
it's very
Yeah.
possible that,
Yeah.
you know,
And that's why I said earlier, I think everything's so bureaucratic and it's just easy enough to where and bloated. It's just easy enough to get through something like this.
Rabbit, was anyone ever able to get the official report, or did they seal it of where she was reported as a runaway? I can't remember.
Wait, say that again.
When she was reported as a runaway in Lake Elsinore or Riverside, whoever took the report, did they seal that report, or was like SF able to get it, or has anybody actually seen the handwritten
We have not.
whatever?
I know that there was an attempt to get the reports from Riverside and the other agency, and I don't think we ever got it. I think Steve said that it was sealed. Now this is interesting. Let me show you guys something real quick. This is what Nisha, Lynn, and I were talking about. So you guys remember back in when we did the video, I believe it was about almost a month ago now. D4VD, somebody leaked his search history from the game console. And one of the things that he searched was United Airlines unaccompanied minor policy. This came up in his search history. And we're talking about a United Airlines ticket. He searched for this. Now, let me see if I can find the video that he searched for, because now I'm kind of curious what the video said.
Yeah,
that
what
he
instructions
watched.
they gave him.
Yes, because now I'm curious. What instructions did he receive? United Airlines, unaccompanied. I'm sure people, here it is. Yeah, minor. I mean, he searched for this. Clearly, unaccompanied minor policy. Okay. 1 second. Look, this is the same video, guys. The same video is right there. Let's see what this is what he watched. Is there no sound? Y'all hear it?
No, I don't know if there's any sound. It's a slideshow.
So yeah, I know, right? And this video is like 2 years old, okay? The unaccompanied minor service is mandatory for kids between the ages of 5 to 14. The service is optional for minors between the ages of 15 to 17. Unaccompanied tickets must be booked. Now, this is interesting. The service is optional. What does that even mean? That if they're the ages between 15 to 17? Yeah, there's no sound
with
of video.
With the unaccompanied minor, before the age of 15, a flight attendant has to come out, has to meet you. You have to then hand the child off. That's when they get to go into the cockpit and do all the fun stuff, whatever like that. And I'm guessing at 15, you don't have to, like, they can fly by themselves, whatever their protocol is, but they don't have to have somebody come out and have the flight attendant come and meet the pilot and do all the kid stuff.
So she wouldn't have qualified for this optional service.
No.
That time frame. It's interesting. Okay. Let's see. And then
But she wasn't unaccompanied. Unaccompanied would mean she had no adult with her.
Right.
So she
it's only one ticket though.
Oh, yeah, but it says in the court documents that traffic. It says in the court documents though that he flew with her to London, like that they flew together, I thought. And then to Texas to meet his family. Yeah. So technically she wouldn't be unaccompanied because anyone over the age of 18 would technically be an adult. But why is he searching unaccompanied? Did she go after him? Maybe they didn't fly together.
Oh, hold up. Let me pull the court docs because now I'm curious. Did he fly with her? Now that is...
maybe he went, then she wanted to come later on, and that's why it's unaccompanied.
London. Okay. Oh my God, this is not even the case. Sorry about that. Okay, so let me keep playing this while I find my documents because I don't know why I can't find it. Hold up, guys. So it's only offered. Look at this. And then it says, just so we pay attention to this, it says this service is only offered on a nonstop flight, which that would have been a nonstop flight if we are to go by the ticket.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hold up. Court documents. I'm going to try to pull the court documents.
See, it says the airport staff will check the minor traveler's document. A special wristband and an envelope to carry their documents in will be given to the minor at check-in.
Mm-hmm.
So if she flied unaccompanied, she would have had a babysitter essentially.
Right. Oh my God. So if she flew it unaccompanied, let's just say that that's the case. It makes you wonder, did the person notice anything? Did they, anyways, London, hold up. Why can't I'm doing a search. background checks, facts. Okay. I'm going to try to pull that flight part because the document does say London, correct? The court document? Here it is. This is what it says, guys. So just so we're clear. And
Okay.
it's literally it's on page 3 in the second paragraph. Despite being informed by law enforcement that she was only 13, defendant continued to pursue her after the victim returned home February of 2024. Her parents took her cell phone and yada, yada, yada. Then the victim spent a significant amount of time with the defendant, including summer weekends at his home in the Hollywood Hills and traveling with him to Las Vegas, London, and Texas to meet his family. So she was traveling with him. That's what the brief says.
Then unaccompanied would not apply here.
So here's
then
my
who would
question.
check her documents then? Because it said on this little slideshow video that he watched
Yes.
that in order for her to, they would meet with a babysitter. I'm just going to call it a babysitter. Would meet with somebody at the airport. They would then take the documents and put them into an envelope at check-in and give them to the minor with the special wristband. But if she was flying with somebody over the age of 18, she was no longer unaccompanied. She would be considered, like I just flew, like I said, from Phoenix to Dallas with my 10-year-old. She wasn't unaccompanied because I was with her. They also never asked for her birth certificate, by the way. I do want to add that. I know we weren't flying international, but when we got on the plane, I had her birth certificate and items like that. And they never once asked me for a single document to prove her age or anything.
But we're assuming, here's the problem with this. We're assuming that this is the only time that she went to London. We don't know. This could have been one of many flights for all we know.
Right. Now, here's the other thing. Did she, what we don't know, which would be interesting, if his mom's a notary, his dad works at a law firm or does something, whatever, but did they go to Texas first, get her documents in order, then go to London?
Yeah. And you don't have to be related, by the way, to the adult to be a unaccompanied minor.
No. In fact, inside the airport guidelines, it doesn't even say anything about needing a signed letter or anything. So I wonder what the documents are.
Oh man. It would apply if he's not a guardian, right? So so let me keep playing this. But here's the A. Riley's. I do wonder about this. We're assuming that there was only a one-time flight. For all we know, she could have been to London a couple times. We just assume that it's once based on that document, also based on this. But if you read the actual preliminary report here or document, it says right here throughout 2024, and Lamp is saying in his post, let me see if, hold up. It doesn't say the year here, September 28th. I don't know what year this is. It doesn't say it. September 28th.
Well, it has to be 24 because she was found in 25.
Right. This would have to be 2024, right?
Mm-hmm. She would have just turned 14.
Yeah.
Earlier in September. But on that search, Rabbit, where he found that video that you just linked on, does it give a date that he searched it?
Oh, that's a great question. No. It doesn't.
Did you ever reverse engineer the document into AI?
Yes, I did. Okay. And it didn't pull anything other than it looks legit and it looks like it's just a screenshot. Yeah, if AI, no, again, y'all do your due diligence, but according to AI, that looks like a screenshot and it broke it down for me, but it doesn't really give me anything other than that. So let me keep playing this video.
What if Victoria is like P. Diddy's KK? Like a behind the scenes assistant, and we assume it's an alias, but it's an actual real person.
Oh, do you mean like they're a real person and they exist?
Because it's like, the speculation and allegation is that he ordered something from Amazon. He himself ordered it from Amazon and put it in a different name. And this ticket's under that same name. But Christina Quorum did a lot of things for Diddy in her name. I mean, we didn't even see her going to court or whatever, but he may have an assistant. I mean, who of his stature in terms of like revenue wise and, a record label doesn't have an assistant?
Well, I think that the documents, the legal documents, let me see. Isn't it the same name that ordered the what is it called? Ordered the Postmates and the pool and everything. That it was
Right, but we just
name.
assume it's an alias, but it could be an actual person.
I think the document says that it's an alias. I could be wrong, but let me
Okay.
check. Let me check. So she had a passport. We know this. Let me see if I can find the actual. There's a paragraph in here that says that it was that. Let's see, past Marcos. They try to hide. So April 23rd, defendant sent him a text. Okay, it might be like on paragraph 5 or 6. Fragments of the pool was found. Okay, we have that. Okay, here it is. So he ordered from Home Depot, all that other stuff. He made purchases using the fake name Victoria Mendez. So,
Okay, so it's not a person.
It's not a person. I'm assuming if it was a real person, they probably would have, there would have been more involvement to that
This
person,
is
right? Why are
silly,
you allowing
irrelevant.
somebody to use your name?
Yeah.
Victoria Mendez is the same name that was used to buy the ticket, but it's also the same name, the same fake name that was used to buy the heavy duty laundry
Isn't
bag
that
and everything.
considered consciousness of guilt? Because why did he put a fake name under there if he didn't think he was doing something wrong?
There's something. Let me keep reading this, and then we're gonna figure out what's next from here, okay? So look at these are the protocols. I never even thought about going through the videos that he watched. That's insane. So the child traveler must wait at the airport upon arrival. A United agent will arrive and get them. The agent will escort the child to the parent or guardian who is present at the airport to pick up the child. If the parent and or guardian is not required to go through customs, and again, that's selective, right? They tend to select who is going to go through customs. Thank you. Okay, thank you, Chloe. If the parent or guardian is not required to go through customs, they will have to get a gate pass. The gate pass will be acquired at the ticket counter itself. So she had a gate pass.
I think it means the person that's dropping the child off that's not flying with them would get a
Right.
gate pass so that they could walk them all the way to the gate because, you can't go through TSA and all that unless you're going like have a ticket. So essentially they would get like a guest pass to go. They can't board the flight.
Right. Okay. Chloe says, type in the confirmation number and Celeste Rivas Hernandez into last name. It sent an email address on file confirmed. Wait, what? Hold up. I want to be careful here. Let me see. Give me 1 second, guys. I have so many tabs open now, y'all. I have too many tabs open. I'm like, I need to close some of these tabs out because I get confusional. Okay, here we go. So let's look into this, but let me remove it because I need to make sure I'm not putting in blasting information. I'm gonna remove it real quick, and let me see because Chloe said, okay, I got you, Chloe Rivas. Find receipt. Confirm and or e-ticket. All right, so let's look at that. We're going to confirm some information. You'll probably be able to confirm it now. This is interesting. Confirmation number for her was, that's the reservation, MVC0NJ. Oh, wow. It's real.
Oh.
Let me look it up there. Look what it says up there. We have sent your receipt to the email on file. So when you put in Celeste's name, you put in that confirmation information, it sends an email to the person who made the reservation using that email. Yeah. Y'all see the green marker up there? It says Checkmark. We have sent your receipt to the email on file. That's interesting. Sounds like everything is. I mean, this looks legit to me. I don't believe that. My question is still, how did they get this ticket? And is it the only time that she went to London or flew internationally? Oh, Badass dropped. I hope he's doing not Badass. I'm sorry. Yeah, Badass R dropped. Shout out to him. I wonder what email was used. How did Lamp get this? He has to be with. That's what I'm saying, girl. I'm saying. Lacey, do you see the screen? Oh, Lacey just dropped too. Lord have mercy. Well, and that is okay. Shout out to Lacey and Badass R. They came up here. They gave some really fantastic commentary and asked some great questions. You said, as usual, I'm late. You said that's where I want to know if Interscope helped book it. Well, it's a real email because I put in the confirmation ticket first, last name, and it sent a receipt to the email that's on file. Yeah. That is insane. But that would be the way to confirm that. Thank you, Chloe. Like, didn't even think about that. And this is the picture. Shout out to Flojo too. Wow. Well, there you go. They confirmed that. Hold up. And this is, I remember this picture. I think I used this picture in a thumbnail too. This is Lamp. And that's what he asked. Hey, who's the girl? Are you are a Fed. You are a Fed. Why would you say that to a person? You are a Fed. That guy knew his YouTube had his info, so I'm sure David gave him stuff to people. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking too, but I'm like, Interscope would be handling this kind of stuff? Was it a business trip? Girl, I have questions. Thoughts? I'm still stuck on this, y'all. Shout out to Chloe. I didn't even think of this. Shout out to Chloe, because I didn't think of this at all. I know. The internet sleuths win again. Yeah. Lamp, I would agree. And I need to review that interview because I'm kind of curious. I mean, they're probably trying to keep it on the low, but the internet sleuths win again. That's the question. If he is on tour, then his management team would have booked the ticket. Somebody booked something. You said they should have handed it in. They have to handle his travel. Yeah, but I mean, if I didn't, okay, not that I could ever put myself in this position, but if I'm D4VD and I'm not trying to get caught, I don't, I guess I would be buying the ticket on my own with my own, account and stuff like that and not letting anybody else handle. Because here's the deal is, I mean, the reality is that this was going to get found out one way or another, right? Whether it was through Celeste, I think that he tried his best to conceal a lot of this, but I have a lot of questions. During that time, he wasn't on tour, but he talks about London and making his songs there. Yep, he did. He did. And here's the question that I have, Kadisha Lynn. Was it just Celeste? Was anybody else going on these flights? What if it wasn't just Celeste and there was other people? Do we know if Asia went to London with him? That's the question that I have. You agree, Abraham? Thank you. You said his management team would know what her age was. Yeah, but Kim, that's the thing. Is like, I don't know, man. Yeah, he said that he had friends with them. So we don't have a picture. I have not seen a picture. Just said what I posted. We're thinking the same way. Do we have a picture of her in London with him, with the group of friends? I don't know. Is anything like that out there? If he wasn't on tour, then I believe he booked it on his own. I think so too. I think he booked it on his own. I think that would make more sense to me. What we do know is that, I mean, the guy literally used the same alias to buy all the material to get rid of her to book the flight. Like, huh? Yeah, I didn't see any photos. We know who he went to spend time with out there. And did the other person know? Like, what? But in an interview, he talks about being with a girl in London, too. He does. Matter of fact, let's see if we can pull it real quick. I mean, the guy wasn't, like I said, he didn't really think this through. Let me finish this and we're going to go to the London interview as well. So this just gives us the idea of how to make things happen. Unaccompanied minor program. The flight crew shall ensure that the kids' comfort, and this is just United Airlines policies. This is not like everybody's policies. The minor travel can call upon the flight attendant for assistance. United Airlines allows minor passengers to bring snacks. Okay. Look at this is the documentation that's required by United Airlines. Here we go. Look at this. Okay. Photo ID, which passport is there. All right. Information, contact details and address information of the adults dropping off the child at the departure airport. Just dropping off. Just the contact details of the drop off. Name, contact number, address, and a copy of the photo ID of the adult who will be picking up the minor traveler at the arrival airport. D4VD could use his own ID right there. Okay. I mean, it's not like, okay, the fee, $25 service fee, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Thanks for watching. All right, cool. So let's see if we can find the D4VD London interview. An interview with Benny Blanco, D4VD touring, romantic homicide. Do we know, Flojo, do we know the name of the interview that he did in London? Or not in London, but at least the interview where he talked about being with the girl in London? Do you remember that? If you do, let me know. Let's see. Man, it's like, it's just so much. 6 days before her murder, Coachella. Here we go. Live from London. This is a year ago. Live from London, Dirty Secrets. Well, he was there. Yada, yada, yada. Hold up. David goes off record shopping at the Rough Trade East. When D4VD dropped into London in April, see, what I'm saying is like, how many actual trips did he make? Oh, his channel.
For last, I saved them best for last. Okay, when we all fall asleep, where do we go, man?
See if we can go here. Here we go.
Baker's voice is just so smooth on these tracks.
Look at his shirt. Is it Neurosis? Is that what the shirt says? Neurosis? He gave the name of the people in the scrapbook. Did he also talk about waiting for this girl to land in the airport? That's what I think he did. By herself as an unaccompanied minor, she would land. They would keep her until for someone to pick her up. That's right. Yeah, Dirty C. I mean, his scrapbook song for Ghosts. Okay. His songs are very telling. Hold up. Let me see if I can find something else. All right.
Especially that old feeling. That old feeling. Like, nobody really does like Chet, to be honest.
All right. I'm just kind of skimming through. He's just singing, yada, yada, yada. Paramore. I saved the best for last.
Best for last. Okay. When we all fall asleep, where do we go, man? I love this album so much. The first song I heard on it was When the Party's Over on YouTube. I saw the music video first. I was like, what is this? And just the aesthetic was so perfect.
They're saying this was 3 years ago when D4VD dropped into London in April. NME took the Houston artist record shopping at the Rough Trade East. From Billie Eilish to Shed Barker, he surprised us with his picks. Okay, just so people are aware. Now, that was in April. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. Do we know how many times he actually went to London? Let me see something real quick. I'm going to try to pull this scrapbook. Where song goes. One sec. Ghosts, a year ago. Demons and Ghosts. That was one of his songs. Live in Houston. Scrapbook. It's a song. I'm looking. Withered, Scrapbook. I mean, it's just like so much. Live in Soul. Unreleased song. Sorry, I'm looking at this, guys. Sorry about that. This is insane. I'm just like, oh my God. Because it sounds like he went to London a couple times. It wasn't just a one-time thing. The question is this the first time? But was this the only time is this the only receipt? How many times did she actually fly out there with him? Document ID in my book. Did he use a corporate credit card or have the fees recouped by the company? It's a great question. You said she traveled solo without an adult, but she's a teen, so she would have only had an airline personnel check to bring her to the gate. You said, I would need to tell the person to raise your hand. Do you swear to stand? Okay, let me see. I'm going to go up there a little bit more. Something about him seems so off. Let's see. When someone tries to sound intelligent to the max, I'm still 6 minutes behind. No worries. You said, but let's make sure we understand unaccompanied first. Does that mean that she traveled solo or that she didn't travel with a known guardian? We don't know. But the ticket is labeled unaccompanied minor, right? Should we assume that she's only by herself? And does it sound like they use the unaccompanied minor service? Because there's a service to this. Hold up. Let's see. One unaccompanied minor, ages 12 to 14. That's all it says. She wouldn't have qualified for the United program on the, no supervision one. This is intense. This is an interesting dropping. And I have a lot of questions, and I think it makes you look at things a little bit just like, wow, okay. I don't know. You said, I think that was the one right after she passed. He was on the couch. Thank you. Hey, Jason, shout out to you. Let me see. David was in London twice, late 2024 with Celeste and March 2025. Yes, go to the scrapbook pages. His list people in there for help writing his ghosts. I don't know who they are. Okay. Let's see. D4VD. Ooh. Hey, Joe.
Hey, how you doing? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm trying to
I
follow
actually just meant to
through.
drop off another link since I can't do it in the chat. But on open it for make sure it's the right one. That should be the FBI website,
Okay.
or a government website. So based on what's written here, it's up to local law enforcement to actually submit the information to the federal government. So if the federal government didn't know, that would explain why we're not seeing anybody act like her name was already in the database. Maybe nobody did enter. So I've been thinking about that since your guest earlier had mentioned that. I've been wondering, because I know it's a state level thing necessarily. So states can't force the federal government to do anything necessarily. Well, federal government, same thing. They have their own rights to enforce their own laws. So I didn't know what that procedure was, so that's why I was looking into that. Did I send you the right link?
Yeah, I think you did. Give me 1 second though, because I'm going to try to pull David's scrapbook, because apparently there's some stuff in there that songs from Wither's scrapbook. 1 second. Okay, cool. All right, we got that link going. Now, this is what First Liberties is talking about. Hold up, Joe. Give me 1 second. This one right here, this manual.
Should be a
FBI
government website.
Person. Is this it?
Yeah, just those two paragraphs right there.
In a missing person case, as a matter of cooperation, the Federal Bureau, the FBI, will, at the request of the state or local law enforcement agencies, make available the facilities of the FBI Identification Division and FBI Laboratory information pertaining to certain categories of missing persons, including missing children, may be entered into the missing person file of the FBI operated National Crimes Information Center. So we talked about this, by the local law enforcement agencies. And since passage of the Missing Children Act by parents of missing children, if the local law agency, enforcement agency will not do so. What does that mean? Go ahead and break that down for us.
I don't know. I didn't look into that statute.
Okay.
I didn't look into that. I only meant to drop off the link and get lost so I don't interfere with the stream.
Gotcha. No worries. No worries. Did you see this though? Did you know about the scrapbook? Because this is what everybody's.
I remember this first came up a few months ago, but I didn't read it because I know people are looking for something in his lyrics to be a clue that he was gonna do this to Celeste. The thing is, if it's too far disconnected from what he actually did, then it won't be admitted for that reason. And they really shouldn't. If the state can't find a clear nexus between this and what he is accused of doing, they really shouldn't, because if the jury doesn't believe that he actually planned this out based on what the state actually offers at trial, then they could blow the whole case if he really did it. So it's not in their interest to just offer every little thing that just like vaguely seems connected to a crime. They're better off finding something good. And based on the facts they alleged already, honestly, they don't even need to go that far back to prove anything. Now, also remember, Beth Silverman did say that any and all charges that could be filed have not been filed. Or excuse me, all of them haven't been filed. We still have plenty of time to figure out he might be he might be going to trial for something else. We already know there's going to be a federal trial. And Celeste was missing at the time this flight happened. That's her name. We just saw that. So we know it was her that flew. So that's going to get the federal government involved just for that alone. So there's going to be something for that. And we already know what else. You know, I don't want to say anything because YouTube's going to get mad.
Yeah. That's interesting. I'm looking, because apparently it says I'm circling back. Yes, we are. Shout out to you. He says hi, First Liberties. Suti says hi.
Hi.
You said if the record co-booked it, it's just so much to this. Like,
by the way, somebody from Interscope Records used to live across the street from me before moved out before the door that got kicked in by the local cops.
what? What do you mean? Wait, what? Say what
Yeah,
now?
they were. What's that?
Repeat what you just said. Like something about kicking the door and they live next to you. Who lived next to you?
Somebody who used to work for Interscope Records used to rent a room across the street from me. He moved out before the cops kicked in the door to that house, though. But anyway, when he was here, he told me about how the label operates. How they fund things for the stars. They would pay for stuff like this. flights internationally, helicopters locally. They pay for stuff like that. But people were wondering if Interscope would have paid for it. I think they would have. I couldn't tell you from here, but the name Victoria Mendez, if that's a name he's using, that sounds like he bought it.
That sounds like a fake name. I mean, clearly they said that it was a fake name.
Yeah. No, it's definitely not his name. Now,
Yeah.
if he is known by friends and family as Victoria Mendez on weekends, right, at karaoke night, maybe. But even if it's not really a fake name, the whole thing is he's obviously using it to conceal his real intentions. And that's going to play into the first-degree charge when that comes up at trial. So it's not even a matter of whether or not it's a fake name. Point is that it's not his name.
Okay.
And what are we looking at here?
So I'm
the
Morris,
tracks.
if you want to, I don't know if you're sending it on Discord. If you want to send it to me on Discord, I'm here for that. Thank you again for the super chat. But let me show you something else. This is what Joe just sent me too. This was 3 months ago. So it said, I went to look at the is it Hellenbeck's profile, who was a producer on David's Withered album. And you can clearly hear someone at the table say, are you still dating that minor? Oh my.
Play
What?
that. Can we wait? Do we have a copy of that?
Well,
do we
we're
have that
about to
audio?
watch
Can we play
it.
that?
We're about to watch it. Let me mute myself. Okay, hold up.
Where's he from? You need to be investing in this?
Which one? Is it Whitaker?
Is this fucking farm boy? I'll beat the
Because
shit out
I'll
of
freak
it.
out.
Are you still dating that minor?
Whoa, did you hear that?
Loud and clear. This is the dumbest motherfucker on earth.
Let me play that again. Yo, I didn't even finish the
Sure.
clip. Oh my God.
Where's he from? You need to be investing in this?
Which one? Is it Whitaker?
Is this fucking farm boy? I'll beat the
Because
shit out
I'll
of
freak
it.
out.
Are you still dating that
I
minor?
love him.
Oh my God.
No, loud and clear. This guy cannot keep his most important secrets locked tight. He just can't.
Shit. That is insane. That is
And that
insane.
was probably like when was that recorded? 2024, probably, right?
The date, let me see, was it I went to look at the Jack Hellenbeck's profile, who was the producer on David's Wither album, and you can clearly hear someone at the table say, are you still dating that minor? There's no way to tell who is talking, who the person is talking, or what the exact context is. But given his connection to David, I find it incredibly strange and disgusting. Well, this was 3 months ago that this was posted, but this might have been, this had to have been 2025 at least. I mean, literally, look at this. Someone says, David's producer asking him, are you still dating that minor? D4VD's producer asking him, are you still dating that minor?
His own producer asking him?
Yes.
What a fucker. This guy just, there's no way to defend him anymore. There's just nothing. And I know probably most people believe the state's document that was released a few months ago. And I understand that. Just for me personally, I like the burden to be higher on government. That's just the way I operate. But we're running out of room. I explained this to you before. I gave him the benefit of the doubt because I have met some really small girls, about 5 feet tall, but overall they're real small. Some of them, you wouldn't believe they were adults if they weren't working with me at my warehouse. So I gave him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he really didn't know her age, but now we know he's been knowing her age. He's known her age way before, was it the charges take place in 2023?
Well, I mean,
But
clearly he had to search unaccompanied minors with
Oh, yeah.
United. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, and all that's going to come out at trial just to show that he knew her age. Over and over, that's going to keep coming out. And it's not even necessary for this charge. For the charges he's facing, all that matters is that she was under the age of 14 when it started. And then at that point, once the state can prove it, that's it. He's just done. I think he's going to do 16 years for that alone. But then for Everything else, yeah, no, they still have a little bit more work to do. But like I said, he's gonna go to prison for the optics alone. There's no way in hell you can put all this evidence forward. So look at this. Lawyers are taught that when you have a client that's hard to defend, you put the bad facts first and then say, but my client ain't the guilty one. But there's no way you can do that here. There's no way to put the bad facts first, get it out of the way, and then try to rehabilitate your client in the eyes of the jury in this case. Once they get all of the early evidence, once basically as this unfolds, they're just going to think guilty, guilty, guilty all the way down. Even if he really didn't do it, I think he was going to be convicted anyway.
Yeah. Yes,
no matter what, I
Kadisha.
think he's going to.
Hit the producer Jack Hallenbach, and that clip is essentially, I guess he's being asked, "Are you still dating that minor?" This is shout out to Morris. Morris had sent this, and again, I try not to. I have to be careful because what I heard is that Trap Moore does not like people playing his content. So let me play a little bit of this to see what. Apparently, they're labeling this journal, the one that I just showed, as a manifesto of what happened.
To see what was in that journal where he breaks down every single song, including the song where Celeste was featured on the song. I've got it. So
this is the one that everybody has shown. Here it is. And apparently it's this specific song, this Ghost one, that everybody's paid attention to, where it seems to be more of a manifesto. Let me see if I can read it though, because it's the writing. It's so small. I wanted to explain the feeling you get when you're not in love with someone anymore and they're no longer yours, but you always keep a piece of that person or a piece of that love forever. To be so connected with someone to the point where every person they meet after you is getting an incomplete version of them, because the only thing that completes them was you, which brings me back to how complicated love is and how important compatibility is in the context of a relationship. It doesn't matter how much you love someone. If you are incompatible, it just will not work out for the life of both of you. But one thing you'll always have, if not the person themselves, is the spirit or the ghost of a love that was once alive. What do you think about that?
I can see the prosecutor tried to bring it into trial, and because of all the media coverage and just the fact that he's facing so many serious felons, I could see the judge slipping it in even if she's not supposed to. I'd have to really see how it's argued in. You don't want to just admit every little word this guy says and then say, well, just because it seems vaguely connected to the crime, this must be evidence of the crime. It's not allowed, for that. It's not allowed if the connection to the crime and the statement, if there's no real nexus, it's not supposed to be at the trial. But I can see them trying. But like I said, they don't really need anything but what they've told us so far.
And what Kadisha's saying is that David said he was in London with him in Scrapbook. So I'm going to go, oh Lord, I don't want to hear this song. I'm going to go to his music. Who is credited in Ghosts? Let me see. Is the producer credited in Ghosts too? Ghosts, D4VD, credits. What's his name? Jack something about Hallenbach? Hallenbach or Hallenbach?
I think Hollenbach is the way.
Yep, he's credited. Ghosts by D4VD is a standout track from his studio album Wither. Record producer and multi-instrumentalist Jack Hallenbach, Hallenbach, plays a major role in the song creation. Where was this song made? Was it London?
So this was recorded in London?
Yes, it was recorded in London, and the writing is credited to Jack. The song and much of the album were largely made in London. So Wither was largely made in London. There it is. Yep.
Was it at the time this flight took place, September?
Well, that's a great. Now, wouldn't it be crazy if he's a witness? Like literally, hold up. Let me see if I can pull up that minor clip. Here, where'd it go? Here it is. Yeah, this was. Let me go back a little bit.
Where's he from? You need to be investing in this?
Which one? Is it Whitaker?
Is it fucking farm boy? I'll beat the
Because
shit out
I'll
of
freak
it.
out.
Are you still dating that
I love him.
The minor part. I'm like, yo, you could hear it so clearly.
Like, what was he supposed to say? Yes or no? Fuck.
I'm like, first
You're
of
just
all,
fucking away.
you say that in front of people, like, isn't that just like embarrassing? It's London, and David writes this. Yeah, that is
Well,
oh my god.
I know. Well, it's loud and clear. He knew who
Yeah.
this girl was, and then it just comes down to whether or not that really is him and her on camera. And like I said, that's 16 years at least. I think he's going to do the max for that one.
Said, read the top of the page on Ghost right there. Read the top of the page on Ghost.
Did you mean the description
on
we were
the-
just looking at?
Do you mean, Kadisha Lynn, do you mean the description or the scrapbook? Because I went back to the scrapbook. I might have to go back to D4VD scrapbook. Here it is.
That's what I meant, the scrapbook.
Let me see. Let's go to Ghost. Hold up. And I think Ghost is like track 14. What did Kadisha Lynn say? I'm not even looking at the chat. Hold up.
She said, look at the top.
Of the scrapbook.
Yeah, I think she might be, if I'm thinking what she's thinking, that part where he says,
tells
keep a
you.
piece of that person forever.
Yeah. Ghost is a real special one. My good friend, Matt Maltese, and friends James, Scott James, and Jack Hellenbeck. I'm going to say that name wrong. So he's crediting Matt, his friends Scott James, and Jack. And is it Lucio wrote this with me in London? A much different flavor of song here. I want to explain the feeling you get when you're not in love with someone anymore. There you go. I already read after that. So he credits this song recorded in London. If you look it up there. Do you see that? First Liberties? Joe, you see up there where it says recorded in London?
Yeah. Well, I'll take your word for it. I can't really see the way I'm on my phone.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, okay, but I zoom
Recorded
in.
in
Yeah,
London.
it says right there, clearly recorded in London.
There you go. He credits Jack, and then in that conversation, are you still dating the minor? And then Jack is helping him compose a song about this kind of a breakup or a ghost or something. Man, this is a lot.
Yeah, it looks like a hell of a lot more than just Celeste and David knew what was going on.
Right. It sounds like a lot of individuals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm gonna drop you, Joe, because I gotta head out to Baby Bunny, but this
Yeah,
was
I
a
didn't
lot.
even mean to stay so long. I just wanted to drop off that link and go.
Thank you.
Because, like
so
I said,
much.
your last guest, they were asking about whether or not local law enforcement had to report to the FBI. It didn't look like it.
Yeah.
So that might explain why the FBI database didn't have her. And from my understanding, Riverside County's always been kind of half-assed.
Should you say that again? Oh my God. I might do a shorter video because I didn't even connect those two. And shout out to Kadisha Lynn, who was in the chat. I mean, she kind of showed us the little bit of the two connections. That's insane. So it's like a lot of people knew that she was a minor. Make sure to check out the other posts I sent you too, Rabs. Okay, hold up. Let me check out the other post too.
Well, I'm going to step out anyway. So have a good one.
Thank you.
And I'll see you at the next one.
Yes, I just played it. Wait. The other post. Oh my God, there's another one, guys. Hold up. David's camera roll. Hold up. David's camera roll. The metadata for the studio from David's SD card is 1/23/2025. The metadata for this photo on David's SD card is 1/23/2025. Okay. The metadata. All right. The metadata from the photo. Okay. Jack. Oh my God. There it is. Kadisha, look at this. Helen Beck. Jack Helen Beck. Start Over by at Tiff Did What is out, and props and written by Tiff. So this is when they were writing the music and getting together for the songs. He was sharing this. They're in the studio. Afterlife was recorded on or about December 15 of 2023. The two images dated January 23rd come directly from D4VD SD card. Both contain embedded metadata confirming the dates, 1/23/2025, with no visible signs of alteration making this a solid timestamp. The first image shows a dimly lit studio setup, a computer with a monitor and audio equipment, and someone seated facing the screen, suggesting that the active studio session. The second image shows a separate angle, adjacent space with multiple instruments, guitars, and a drum kit, arranged in a way that consistent with professional recording audio. The team and I at D4VD Idiots have done some digging. Based on the layouts and equipment, the space appears consistent with the studio associated with Jack Hellenbeck, who has been credited as the producer on Afterlife. This would place D4VD in a studio setting on January 23rd of 2025. More details on the producer to follow on a separate post. So was he the one that said this, though? Was he the one that said, D4VD producer asking him, are you still dating that minor? Where was this? Oh my God, yo. Thank you. Thank you. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Clearly a lot of people knew. Clearly there's a lot to this. Jesus. Love y'all. All right. Let me shout out some people. Guys, thank you so much for supporting the stream. I do have to head out because I got Baby Bunny I got to attend to, and I've been live for like 2 hours now, so I got to go. But I really do appreciate everybody. Yo, if you have not watched this from the beginning, if you've been following this, maybe something makes sense that doesn't make sense to me quite yet. There's so much to this. Yeah, are you still going to marry the girl on the missing photo when she turns 18 is the next question. Oh my God, this is insane. Let me shout out to James, who says, I am bad at reading social cues, can't make eye contact. I'm really good at drawing and don't pick up on sarcasm. Rabbit, I think I might be an artistic. Shout out to you, James. And then James, and again, thank you, Morris. James says, I'm just learned sign language so I can tell jokes people have never heard. Bye, James. Thank you, James. Shout out to James. All right, guys, I gotta go. I will see you guys on the next one. We gonna figure this out next week. I mean, literally, we'll be live for the, hearing and everything. So I will see you guys on the next one. Sorry, guys, Baby Bunny. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys. Thank you for hitting the like button. Shout out to Kadisha Lynn and everybody else, guys. Bye, guys.